terms of what we're preparing for tonight, do you guys want to focus on textbook exercises we didn't get to, or the OPI practice?
Probably the OPI. Probably OPI.
OPI? Okay, so does everybody have their worksheets that I handed out last time?
These things?
Yes.
Sure.
And you weren't here, so that's why I've got a set.
Oh, that's right. There's two other sheets that go with this.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that.
Okay. So, oh, and you didn't get a set of the other ones either.
Oh, for the Japanese one,
Yeah, for the Japanese one. So we won't focus on those tonight necessarily, but you can take them home and work on them.
Do you have to use the dictionary form of a verb before no actal day? Because you wouldn't use past tense, right, because it'd be redundant.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't say tabeta no actal day.
Not-
Taberu no actal.
Tabeta ato de.
Tabeta actal day.
Yeah, it's past tense, no.
Past tense, no.
Yeah.
If it's
Tabeta ato.
No is an ono.
tabe,
Yeah.
because,
Tabeta ato.
but you can't say
Yeah,
taberu no actal day.
Taberu no ato. No, that sounds weird. Tabeta ato de.
Tabe,
Yeah.
So it's tabeta ato de, not tabeta no ato de.
Right.
or not taberu no actal day either.
And it's
Right.
not tabeta no
So
ato
you
de,
keep the
tabeta
past
ato
Yeah, it's
de.
just tabeta ato de. Just that much.
Okay. And it would obviously have to be casual, right, short form. You can't say tabemasen,
Tabemashita?
stop, no, actal day. Tabemasen, stop.
Yeah.
So that's one of those required short forms?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of those, if you're gonna use ato de after a verb to say after having done X, then I did Y, or then I will do Y, yeah, it would always be short form past tense, ato de. So, tabeta ato de, ikimashou would be after we've eaten, let's go. You
Right.
know, or tabeta ato de nomimashita. After eating, I drank.
I wasn't sure if the no was.
Yeah, there's no there.
So,
Okay, so here's the lesson 4 stuff that the level 1 group is doing.
what's the difference between tabeta actal day and tabeta ita actal day?
Tabeteita.
Tabeta actal, sorry.
Tabeteita.
Is there a
After we are
after I
eating?
was done eating or after I ate?
Tabeteita. I don't think they use that. I think it would just be tabeta.
Tabeta actal.
Yeah. Tabeta ato de, ikimashou, or, yeah, you could use tabete ita toki. To say
That's what I
while
figured.
something else
Yeah.
was happening, you know, while I was eating, something else happened. Tabete ta toki,
So when I was in the middle of eating,
友達から電話が来ました。While I was eating, a phone call came from a friend. You know, something like that could happen.
so no teiru with actal.
Teiru with ato, no.
Doesn't, okay. So,
Teiru ato, no.
I was trying to put some sentence together.
Yeah.
before classes.
Yeah, there are things you can do and things you can't do with these
Yeah,
structures.
yeah, I didn't know which was what or what was good. So.
Yeah. So, yeah. Ato. Ato de.
Is the day always gonna be there? Or if the grammar of the auto changes in a way, does the day go away?
There are times, I think, when the de gets replaced with some other particle or drops completely. Obviously, in casual speech, particles get dropped a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're talking to your friend very casually, 食べた shimashou. You know, let's do it after we eat. You know, 食べた後で、you know,
寝ましょう。
Ego neuter or something, you know, after I've eaten, I'll watch the movie,
So-
whatever.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, besides just the dropping of particles in casual speech,
Yeah,
it's gonna be there.
it's usually gonna have de. There may be exceptions and I'm not thinking of them right now, you know.
Okay.
Hi.
What's the difference between saying iko and ikoze?
The ze is just a very masculine,
Ikoze.
strong, it's like a verbal exclamation point. It's like yo, but stronger and more
Yeah,
masculine
it's-
sounding.
Oh, okay.
どうぞ。
Ikoze.
行こうぜ。
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
lightly.
You sound like an anime character when you say it that way.
Ah,
Or like ikuzo.
Yeah, ikuzo, that's another one
I've
that's,
heard that one a lot.
yeah.
So,
Zo and ze are variants of the same thing, and they're both,
That's my street.
Yeah. they're both generally considered to be masculine sounding and very casual.
is there any implication of arrogance in that, or just?
I don't know if I'd call it arrogance, but a lot of confidence for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, self-confident and not like you're, you know, you're not necessarily bossing your friends around, you're just saying, come on, let's go already. You know, it's like enthusiastic and emphatic and, yeah, ze in particular sounds kind of boyish. Like, I don't hear a lot of men saying it, it's kids. But, yeah, okay, I saw a couple of hands go up. Hi.
Alright, last off-topic question. So, te kudasai,
Hi.
what is the difference between te kureru or te kure?
Kureru is just a more casual word than kudasai.
So, but I heard a lot with the ru left off, like, tabete kure. Is that
That's like command form.
so that's the
that's-
command form of, it's not kure at all? Ku-
No, tabete kureru, kuremasu. Yeah, it's a ru verb, so it's a different construction.
It's not
But,
like, cause I think like taberu is tabero, right?
Yeah.
Does it change
no, taberu is tabeyo
for the,
for let's eat. Or tabe. Well, there's a form that's just tabe, it's like eat.
oh, okay.
Eat.
So, tabete kure is like, eat it already, come on, you know?
So, then tabete kureru is like a more casual form.
Yeah.
of Tabete kudasai,
Yeah,
But-
tabete kureru is like, won't you eat it?
but it's
Yeah,
more polite
tabete
than,
kudasai is please eat. Yeah, there are a zillion gradations of that.
and it's more polite than just tabete.
Yeah,
Okay. Cause
Yeah.
I've heard like in shows they yell like yamete,
yeah,
yamete kure, like they yell.
yeah,
it.
that's like, quit it!
Yeah. Or like
Yeah,
Swedish Barbie.
Kind of an example sentence.
Right.
If I were to say, 昨日昼ご飯について何を食べますか? Would that work?
Nitsuite is usually more of a discussion topic.
So it'd be
I don't see using it to ask, 昼ご飯について
what about
何を
noto?
食べた? Is that what you were trying to ask?
何を食べた? Or could, let's say,
I would say just 昼ご飯に何を食べた?
昼ご飯
What did you eat for lunch?
Ah.
You don't really need the について for that.
Cause it almost seems like nitsuite and wa do the same thing to me. That's where I'm confused. I think that's kind of the same thing. Like,
Yeah, they are similar functions, but について is like regarding blah blah blah, let's talk about it or discuss something, you know. It's more like introducing a topic for discussion, whereas wa, it could be just pointing out that this thing has this characteristic, or this thing is this way. It's not necessarily a topic for discussion, right?
I understand when we're ordering, it would be like hamburger or futatsu kudasai.
はい、ハンバーグを2つください。
If
はい
I was to say that I ate 5 obento, so
Yeah.
That's a lot of
or-
bento.
or
Yeah.
5, yeah, but with
Yeah,
that,
she
I
was
would say, with that, how would I say the amount before the food?
No, you would say it in the same order. お弁当を5つ食べました。
Tabemashita.
Yeah, you would still say it in the
Once a day,
same
yeah.
word order. So, yeah, just to do a different example. So, コーラを6つ飲んだ。So, somebody was really thirsty. Yeah.
So if you change nonda to kudasai, it just becomes 6 colas, please,
はい。コーラを6つください。Yeah.
instead of I drank 6 colas.
Yeah, so you can just replace the verb with kudasai, which really is a verb of sorts anyway. It's literally please give,
Right.
you know. So kudasaru is the root verb that it comes from. Kudasai is like a weird form of it.
Yeah. It almost sounds like a
Kudasaimasu.
form.
It's actually a stem, come
Yeah,
to think of it. Kudasaimasu is the mas form. And one of the polite forms for asking for something, for making a request is kudasaimase, like irashaimase.
Mm.
Yeah, you don't hear kudasaimase very often, it's archaic.
Either that or like the kids did something really, really bad.
No, it's
And
just
they're
old
just-
fashioned. Kudasaimase is super old fashioned.
Ah, okay.
Is
Right.
kudasai written with the kanji for shita?
Yes.
For what?
Yeah. Kudasai, like that.
For down?
Yeah, kudaru.
Oh.
Yeah, in fact, nobori and kudari, written like this, nobori, kudari, are terms that refer to Tokyo-bound and outbound from Tokyo trains and buses.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, kudari and nobori. Nobori means like it's climbing, but in the case of using it with this kanji, it just means it's headed toward the center. Tokyo is like the center, the hub of the whole train system for the region. You know, Tokyo Eki. Everything that's headed for Tokyo Eki is called nobori. And everything that's headed from Tokyo Eki outward towards some other destination is called kudari. And they use that terminology within Tokyo in the train system. I don't know if they use it outside of Tokyo much. I think they may use it for Shinkansen that originate out of Tokyo Eki. I think that, you know, if you're taking a train that goes from Tokyo to, say, Osaka, that would be called Kudari Shinkansen. And if you're taking one that goes from Osaka to Kyoto, to Tokyo rather, I think that might be called Nobori. So it sort of treats Tokyo Eki as like it's the center of the universe, and everything is either coming or going from there.
Mm.
Which is not entirely accurate since there are other hubs in the country, but that is the biggest hub. So let's get off of off-topic subjects and back to on-topic subjects for a little while. We need the practice. So which do you guys want to
All of the above.
work on first? Do you want to just kind of go down the list, or is there one particular topic for practice that you guys wanted to focus on first? Is there one that's more difficult than the others?
Mm,
Okay.
ask and answer questions about your
Opinions on various past topics.
Okay.
So, for example, how would you form the question, what was the town that you lived in as a child like? What was it like, that town that you lived in as a child?
子供の時
Right.
子供の時の街
Okay, 子供
子供
の
の
時、
町を
what kind of town?
どんな町が
There you go.
住んでいますか？
どんな I don't remember if we had the kanji for machi yet.
Yes.
No.
No, we don't.
どんな町
がどんな町を住んでいました
に住んでいた。
どんな町
に
に There you go.
住んでいた。
はい、住んでい
oh
た
yeah, need for in, like lived in
どんな町に住んでいた
住んでいた
Okay. どんな町に住んでた Okay, so 子供の時、どんな町に住んでた And then how could you answer a question like that?
adjectives, right?
Or verb phrases, remember predicate phrases?
Maybe.
For example, let's say I was describing the town where I taught English in Japan. 映画館がなかった町に住んでいた。映画館 means movie theater. Or マクドナルドがなかった町に住んでいた。There was no McDonald's there. You know,
Okay, and it literally-
小さい町に住んでいた。
It's literally the town without McDonald's.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
That's
So, you know, just to use that as an example, and you could do a, you know, 小さくて, I can't spell today, 小さくて,映画館とマクドがなかった町に住んでいた。
okay. 映画館を
マクド is short for マクドナルド。
So the town that was small had a movie theater.
It was a town that was so small and it had no movie theater or McDonald's. So it was small and the te form is like and, right? So it was a town that was small and had no movie theaters or fast food places.
We haven't talked about using naru like that before. We've always used nai.
That's not naru, that's nai. Nakatta.
Nai. Oh, nakata. Okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking-
nai nakatta. That's the arimasu, arimasen,
Okay.
short form, right?
What-
Arimasen, short form.
What's
nakatta.
nahu? then?
Nakatta. What?
What's the-
Arimasen deshita.
What's the nahu? that you
Naru,
said?
that we haven't
yeah,
covered
I
that
was
yet, so
thinking
don't
like
worry about it
full
yet.
circle naru. That's what I was thinking of.
Next semester.
Oh.
I just,
I
I
think I
thought
heard
that's
what that was. It's the only reason I said it.
Yeah,
I was
so
reading it.
nakatta is the short past of arimasen deshita, right? Nakatta.
Yeah.
So that's one reason it's good to practice this stuff ahead of time, because people forget. Have we really done arimasu in the short form all the way through? Let's
I know
let's
it's- there's the
practice it.
nine.
So arimasu, short form is
Aru.
aru, right? And then short negative is,
Nai.
well, simple negative is nai, right? And then past positive would be,
Arimasu.
Atta.
Or arimasu.
Atta.
Wait.
and
Wait.
past negative is nakatta.
Oh, we're talking short forms, right?
Yeah, we're talking short form.
Atta. and-
So aru atta, nai nakatta. So if we're, this is the positive, this is the negative, right? These are the present slash future, and these are the past forms. See how I did that grid?
So
If you can't do this grid for any given verb in short forms, then you need to practice doing those grids for the short forms. Because you should know how to do this for all the verbs we've learned thus far.
So just like the other part of the OPI where we're talking about the people in the room,
Uh-huh.
you can just stick any tense of a casual form verb in front of a noun to modify it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, so nakatta machi, a machi that had none in the past of these things, right?
so like, kita hito, the person that came.
Kita hito. Yeah,
Kita hito, like the person that came was interesting. Kita hito
Yeah.
memoshiroi desu.
yeah. Kita hito wa omoshirokatta desu. Yeah, the person who came was interesting. Hai.
Kita hito?
Kita hito.
I did
Kita.
not even know that.
Kuru.
Oh, okay.
Kita. Hai.
I'm not sure if we've already done this or not, but on this part of the OPI where the people are and describing them and whatnot,
Uh-huh.
did we just explain this? Did I just completely go brain dead?
No.
Which and who?
No, no,
One
no.
asks for who, so it's, one asks, it says ask who the following people are, so would that be Tanaka-san wa dono hito desu ka?
Yeah, that's,
And then, didn't we just go over this? And then the other one is,
Tanaka-san wa
computer
dare
o tsukate iru hito desu? Or
Okay, so
computer o
let-
tsukate iru.
yeah. Yeah, so Yutaka-san, yeah, Yutaka-san, right? That's who you're using as your example. So Yutaka-san wa
You talk?
dare,
Where's this?
The dude on the computer, his name's Yutaka.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
what was
okay.
it?
yeah, so Yutaka-san, if we're using him as an example, Yutaka-san wa dono hito desu ka, right? And then you look at that and say, oh,
That would be who.
コンピューターを使っている人です。
Right, but
Yeah.
that would be for who,
Yeah.
not which.
No, that's which.
It's because the question is different
Which
on
would
both
be
pages.
dare, right?
Okay. Dare or dono, you could really get away with either
So
one.
we can do it either way.
Yeah, Yutaka-san
So
wa
it can
dare
really
desu
work
ka?
either way then, it can be
Yeah.
Dominica or,
Yeah, dono hito desu ka or dare desu ka? I think either one works. So, dare desu ka? Yutaka-san wa dare desu ka? あそこでコンピューターを使っている人です。Or,
not hito wa. Hito wa desu.
not 人はです。
No,
人はYutaka-san です。
Okay.
Yeah, so it depends on how you want to state it. If you want to say, for example, Yutaka-san wa あそこでsorry, コンピューターを使っている人です。Right?
Right.
That's one way you can put it together. Sorry, my handwriting's awful. So, 豊さんはあそこでコンピューターを使っている人です。or あそこでコンピューターを使っている人は豊さんです。You know, so your units are, you know, あそこでコンピューターを使っている人 and Yutaka-san, right? So either one of those could be the subject of your sentence, right? So those two could swap places if you want to put the long one in front of the wa instead of the short one in front of the wa.
The person over there using the computer is Yutaka-san.
Yeah. Or Yutaka is the person over there using the computer.
Just want to make sure.
So if he used the computer but is not currently using it, it would be 使っていた?
Yes, very good. 使っていた人. Yeah, so if he was using the computer and you saw him using it and then you saw him stand up and walk away from it just now, and somebody's asking you which one's Yutaka, and say, あそこでコンピューターを使っていた人です. Yeah. Okay. And if, for example, you wanted to also add the fact that he wears glasses, you could stick that in too. You know, あそこでメガネをかけてて, right?
We're getting into some really funky
Yeah.
pronunciations, aren't we? Tongue twisters.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm writing. メガネ. I don't know why I'm writing funny today. メガネをかけていて、コンピューターを使っている人です。You know, and if there's something else about him that you wanted to include in your description, if there were two people with glasses playing on computers at the time, you could say, I don't know, 髪が金髪で,
Kinpatsu?
金髪,
Oh,
blonde,
Blonde, yeah.
yeah, 髪が金髪で、メガネをかけていて、コンピューターを使っている人です。Right?
He's also sitting and wearing shoes.
Right. Yeah, so if you really wanted to add all those details, you could. Hi.
That's the other thing. What would be the word for flag?
Flag as in,
The flag of the United States, the flag of Japan.
hata.
Hata?
Yeah, I believe so. Somebody look that up for me and just
I
double
can
check.
find it in the book. I
Yeah.
can't find it.
Jisho.
Jisho.org. Yeah, I lost it for a second. Right as you were asking me the question, it kind of fled. But I think it's hata.
It is.
Is there a tsu in there or no?
Hata,
No.
flag, or banner.
Yeah, flag. So, Nihon no hata, America no hata. Okay, does that help?
I think so. Nihon no hata.
Hey, Nihon no hata. Yeah. Yeah, there's another word too for the Japanese flag in particular. I think they sometimes call it hinomaru, which we were talking about maru before, meaning circle. Hinomaru. Hi no maru. He as in sun.
Oh.
Hinomaru. Because that's what the Japanese flag looks like. You know, it's a round sun.
Oh.
The circle that is the sun, right? Hinomaru. So that's another term that's used sometimes for the Japanese national flag in particular.
I see.
There's a special word for the Japanese World War II battle flag too, but I can't think of it right now. The one that has the sun's rays coming out from the
Right,
circle
right,
all
right,
around, that was the battle flag. And there's a word for that one too, and I can't think of it right now.
So, for the same thing,
Hey.
ask your opinions on, ask their opinion, various past topics, things someone did in high school.
Okay, so for example,
Kola no toki?
oh, and どんな町に住んでた, right, was the question. So we talked about, you know, but then you're going to express opinions about that. So for example, from here, 小さくて映画館とマクドがなかった町に住んでいた. If somebody lived in a town that small, then the response to that could be something like つまらなかったと思います.
Ah,
Right? So,
right.
because this is not only talking about describing places, we're also trying to get to using to omou sentences as well. So, 小さくて映画館とマクドがなかった町でつまらなかったと思います. You could put it all into one sentence if you wanted to.
But the tomoimasu is still going to be in present tense. The only thing that changes the tense is the thing that you think, right?
Right. So you can put a past tense before the to omoimasu, but the to omoimasu stays in present
Yeah.
tense.
It's just that in English, it's like, I thought it was pretty boring.
Right. But, you know,
Language difference.
yeah, language difference. So, マクドがなかった町でつまらなかった。Sorry. つまら keeping it casual form, right? Tomo would be the ending. Yeah. つまらなかったと思う。はい。
旭日記と思います。
あ、旭日記。
The flag.
The flag, okay, the battle flag one?
The rising sun flag.
Which one?
あ、旭日記。はい。
Oh, that one.
It's got the sun.
Okay. Okay, it was originally used by feudal warlords. That's why it's associated with being a battle flag. So it goes back to feudal warlords.
You just changed the last sentence.
Yeah.
なかった町でつまらなかったと思う。Does that,
Yeah.
so that,
So what this is doing,
that'd be the follow-up statement to the answer you wrote before, right?
or it could be instead of,
Because then
どんな町に住んでいた小さくて映画館とマクドがなかった町で this part is answering the question つまらなかったと思う so it
the day doesn't,
as a small town that didn't have a movie theater or a McDonald's, I thought it was boring.
oh,
Okay, so we added another level of complexity, but you don't have to fuse that all into one sentence. You could, leave it, so, machi ni sundeta, and then tsumaranakatta tomo.
You're still saying the same thing, but just pausing.
Yeah, so you could leave it the old way and then add tsumaranakatta to omotta.
you
or
can take
tomo.
out sundeita completely and just put a day there, and it means the same thing.
Well,
That's what's blowing my mind. Like, that's why I'm confused.
it was saying it was a town. Because this de is like des, sort of.
Oh.
You know,
See, I read it as like, I think it was a small town that didn't have a McDonald's there. Like, I put the tomo through the whole thing because I didn't see a different verb.
Okay.
So should it be
This-
machi ni sundeiru?
Okay, or you could do, yeah.
Sundeite. Tsumaranakatta to omoimasu.
Yeah, ni sundete. Tsumaranakatta tomo. That works too, yeah. 小さくて映画館とマクドがなかった町に住んでいてつまらなかったと思う。
Because the town
So-
I lived in was
Yeah,
small.
and
and
by,
didn't have any
actually,
of
another little interesting detail. By ending with tomo, it sounds like you're expressing an opinion of what you think someone else's small town experience must have been like. Like you're talking about somebody else who lived in a small town like that, so you think that must have been boring. If you personally lived through that experience and felt it was boring at the time,
Omotteiru.
you could say, つまらなかったと思った. I thought it was boring.
Oh.
You can actually make this past tense if you're saying that you used to think that, but now you appreciate that small town life now that you've experienced other things.
Okay. So what's the difference between omoimasu or omo and omotteiru or omotteimasu? What? Because I've heard us use both, and I don't.
Yeah. That we get into in more detail in another chapter, but it kind of is a difference between I think or I'm thinking.
So.
You know, like one, we get into another chapter where it's about like making a decision on the spot versus you've been thinking about it and decided a while back.
Okay.
But we're not going to get into that tonight.
I've just heard both used. I didn't know if it didn't matter.
It's not that it doesn't matter, it's that there's a slight connotation difference. But for this one, we're looking for using a variety of things. So let's get some more practice
Yeah,
going.
I asked before we
Oh.
went back into this. What about like
Yeah.
things someone did in high school?
So 高校の時
Because you did nani o shimashita?
Yeah, you could use 高校の時何をした What do you do in high school? And then you know, the other person can say whatever kinds of things they did in high school, and then you can express your opinion
Something.
of,
as
you
to
know,
Tom.
面白かったと思
Okay.
う, you know, or つまらなかったと思う, or 良かったと思う, must have been great, you know.
And like, what do you want for part 3? Like, what are you expecting us to do?
Okay, so for
Bunch of tip form
example,
linkage.
let's say you ask your friend, どんなスポーツをした? And then your friend answers, for example, 高校の時、サッカーをした. And then you tell me, ジョーさんは高校の時、サッカーをしたと言っていました.
Okay.
So it's like a three-way conversation where the two of you tell each other a couple of things about your past, and then you report to me, so-and-so said he used to do this, so-and-so said she used to do that. Okay? And it could be 高校の時、子供の時、大学の時、昨日, you know, 学生の時,
When I was a
先週, you know, it could be any past.
Inu no toki. When I was a dog.
Okay, does that answer the question about number 3?
Yeah, but and so you can use a lot of frequency adverbs and stuff too. Like when you were a kid,
Right.
I studied a lot, and then I would say pretty much exactly what he says, and then totally
Right, right. So, and for this one, you don't have to be using short forms with one another if you don't want to be, but then you have to remember to convert it to short form to report it to me, right? So if your friend says, you know, よく洗濯をしませんでした, I didn't do a lot of laundry, then you would say, よく洗濯をしなかったと言っていました.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right? Because you have to make that conversion to quote somebody's speech, right? So you're gonna, so if they say it to you in long form, you're still gonna convert it to short form and use data. Okay? So it's gonna be as if I wasn't sitting there listening to you tell each other those things, right? Because you're gonna report to me as if I didn't just hear the other person say what they said. Okay, what about what your partner has or has not done yet? So for example,
Wait, which one is that?
number 4. So for example,
Um,
もう昼ご飯を食べた? Have you already eaten lunch? いいえ、まだ。
まだ食べていません。
まだ食べていない。or まだ食べていませんでした. Okay.
食べていない is just short form.
Short
So
form, yeah.
you could just
まだ
say
食べ
食べていない。
まだ食べていない。
having
食べていない。
Yeah, 食べていない. Have
食
not
べて
eaten
い
yet.
ない。
いない. Yeah. 食べています. 食べていない.
Unite implies that
Mada. You have to use the negative of mada.
Look, まだ食べています, right? That's the form you're more comfortable with. まだ食べていません. Sorry. Mada 食べていません is I haven't eaten yet, right?
Right.
The short form is going to keep the 食べて intact, okay? And then the short form of いません is いない. Okay? So 食べていない.
But I
Okay?
can still use imasen if I choose,
Right.
for casual.
No, this is not casual. This is formal. This is casual.
食べていない。
Yeah. So depending on whether you're trying to be formal or casual, that's how you're going to
I
choose
think what
which one to
confuses
say.
me is if I was to conjugate the, taberu, it sure wouldn't be tabe anai or tabe inai.
No.
Yeah, it's a different form, and that's what's.
Right, they're two different
confusing
forms.
me.
So te inai, but tabe nai.
Right, I get
Yeah.
it, I get
is one thing, but tabete iru is another thing.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
doing.
Right, is doing as opposed to will do.
Peter is
Right,
you must end didn't do.
te imasen, yeah. No, te imasen is not doing. Tabete imasen deshita would be did not do.
Did not do.
Yeah. Mada tabete inai is have not done yet.
But what if you have?
Then you would say mo tabeta.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's go over that real quick. So, again, you can kind of put it into a grid structure, kind of like this one, right? So if you're doing, if the question is mo tabeta, did you eat yet, right? Then you can say, hai, mo tabeta.
Yeah, just repeat the question.
Okay, hai, mo tabeta. Yeah, I ate already. Mada, you would eat. Mada. Tabete nai would be like that. The reason it shifts is because this is asking, did you eat yet, right? Yes, I already did. Finished. Tabeta. Simple past, right? But no, not yet is like, I have not eaten yet, but I intend to at some point in the future, right?
Kind of like how it's on
You're
your.
not gonna just keep starving yourself, you're gonna eat eventually. So the tabete inai is, I'm still in this state of not having eaten yet. But that's going to change at some point. So that's why it's this form instead of tabenai.
So then with that being said, you could use like han o yonde and
Hon, yeah. Hon o yonde
Hon
nai.
o yonde and nine.
Yeah, like, kono hon mo yonda, did you read this book yet?
Right.
Mara yonde nai is not yet, I haven't read it yet.
Mada yonde nine.
Yeah, that mada goes with te inai to indicate that you have not done that
I-
yet, but
I just thought
you
with
plan
mo
to
and
at some
mada that you use te ima sen for some reason.
It depends on how formal you're being. Yeah, the textbook doesn't always show you both forms. They'll sometimes just show you either the casual or the formal. But now we're at a point where you need to be able to start converting back and forth between them.
If, oh, could you use mo as in like say, mo hiru gohan no toki? As in, is it lunchtime yet?
Oh, okay. Mo hiru gohan no
Like
jikan.
say you're in like,
You say jikan, not toki.
okay,
Mo hiru gohan no jikan? So yo.
okay.
Yeah, it is. It's lunchtime already. Mo hiru gohan no jikan? It's like, what? It's lunchtime already? Like, where'd the time go? Yeah.
How do you say end of class time?
授業の終わり。もう授業の終わり or 授業の終わる時間まだ。
Have you heard any of those words before? All of them.
Yeah.
Jugyo no or.
授業。授業
Because
の
they sound familiar.
終わる。終わる。
Turasu ga.
I think we can just usually use class.
クラス。
but
クラス。Yeah, クラス。
Turasu
Yeah,
ga
クラス
wata?
もうクラスが終わった Did the class finish already? まだ。まだ終わっ
Oh.
終わっていないよ。
Owahi as in the oahu verb?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, まだ終わっていないよ。It's not over yet. いい
And then,
Okay.
And number 5 is just like the picture, right?
Right. Yeah, that's basically, number 5 is basically referencing these pictures.
So what about 6? I get how to ask why, but
Why you or your partner didn't or won't do various things.
what's the reason answer gonna be?
Kata.
using kata stuff.
Kata.
Because this chapter goes back to that kata stuff and shows you the other order, the more normal, traditional Japanese order for things, which we'd already sort of talked about a little bit, but it kind of goes back to that. So, example would be, 木曜日に試験があるから、今からたくさん勉強しましょう。
You say tabete kata?
Yeah.
Tabete kata?
食べたから
Tabete kata, you could say that though? Tabete kata?
食べてから or 食べた
Well, tabeta or tabete kata.
They're two different things though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Tabeta kata,
食べたから
because you had already eaten.
I've
And
already,
then
yeah,
another
I've eaten
sentence.
something, so もう食べたから今お腹が空いていません。Now I'm not hungry. もう食べたから今勉強します。I already ate, so now I'm going to study. You know,
The first sentence you said was because there's a test on Thursday.
Yeah.
From now, I'm studying. Or I'm
Yeah.
studying
Yeah.
yeah.
until later. Okay.
So, yeah, 木曜日に試験があるからたくさん勉強します。Yeah, I'm going to study a lot. Or, different things like that. Just think about different scenarios of things that you could, どうして図書館に行きますか？明日試験がありますから図書館で勉強します。That's why I'm going to the library, because I've got a test something, so I'm going to study there. Right? That kind of thing. Or どうしてどうして映画を見に行きますか？面白い映画ですから見に行きます。It's an interesting movie, so I'm going to go see it. Yeah, 見に行く was one of the things we had a couple chapters
Yeah.
back, right? So you guys can,
Going with
Use
the
that.
purpose, yeah.
yeah, going for a purpose, yeah. So you can use that kind of しに行きます, 食べに行きます kind of structure fits well sometimes with the kata structure, because you might be going for a reason, right? So, テストがありますから図書館に勉強しに行きます. Since I've got a test, I'm going to the library for the purpose of studying, that kind of thing.
For the sentence you used about the movie being interesting, could you
Yeah.
also, instead of just saying that it is interesting, could you have like some reserves about it and say, to omoimasu kara?
There you go, yeah. あの映画は面白いと思うから、or と思いますから見に行きます。I think it's going to be interesting, so I'm going to go see it. あの映画は面白いと思いますから見に行きます。I think that movie's interesting, so I'm going to go see it. That works, yeah, that works really well. Yeah. あの寿司は美味しいと思いますから食べてみたいです。I'm going to 食べてみます。I'm going to try it. I'm going to taste it because I think it's going to be delicious. Don't know for sure yet, but I'm going to taste it.
What?
はい
For sick, the byoki,
はい、病気
do you have to use the byoki kara, or is it like
病気ですから病気だから
okay, dakara? I
Yeah.
didn't know what the verb was going to be.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was going to be
病気
because
で
I
す
because sickness exists or something.
No,
Yeah.
病気です
Byoki desu.
So,
Byoki desu
yeah,
kara,
someone
dakara.
is sick. So, 病気ですから or 病気だから Notice that nouns and non-adjectives take da with kara. So, 病気だから元気だから so 病気だから行きたく I keep getting into stuff that we haven't studied yet. 病気だから行きません because I'm sick, I'm not gonna go
To class.
to class or wherever, you know. 元気だから行きます。I'm feeling well, so I'm going, you know.
What
You know,
about like,
面白いから it's interesting, therefore.
what
You
about,
don't need the da, because it's short form of
an EM?
the E adjective doesn't take da, right? So, 面白いから買います. It's interesting, so I'm gonna buy it. You know, like talking about like a DVD or something.
So what about like, みんな行くから
はい。
行きます。
はい、みんな行くから行きます. Yeah, everyone's going, so I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
But you can also use long form with that too.
Yes, you can use long form or short form in front of kara. The trick is that if you use long form before kara, you should also use long form at the end of the sentence.
Mix and match, okay.
Don't mix and match that one, it sounds odd. But if you use short form in the middle, if you want to make it sort of intermediate polite, you can still use long form at the end. But if you can also use short form in the middle and short form at the end to make it more casual. So you've got kind of 3 levels of politeness. When you've got a kara sentence, you could do all long form, short form in the middle, long form at the end of the sentence, or all short form. But doing long form in the middle and short form at the end is a little bit,
I think the book
Weird
says
sounding.
that, to not do that. Alright, and then we already kind of went over 7,
okay,
the menu.
yeah, the menu
menus.
thing, yeah.
If you want to say like you want, like say you wanted to say cheese burger to fried potato
Oh,
or what, or,
kudasai, yeah.
but if you say a number, does that mean you want 2 of both? Stop
You-
to like
You would put it in
right after
Like
your
a-
item.
each, after each item. So you can say, for example, hamburger, is it 2 nobasu?
Yes.
Think, hamburger, yeah. Hamburger を1つと、コーラ1つください。
Alright.
Cheeseburgers and colas, please.
コーラ
So you can use toe in between.
1つください。
Yeah.
はい。
As long as you put the number.
Yeah, because you're
with-
still, you're putting the numbers with the noun, but the to is still linking the 2 nouns, right? It's not really linking the numbers, it's linking the nouns.
Right.
ハンバーガー1つとコーラを1つください。Please
Can
give me one of each, a burger and a cola.
And you use o to link the numbers.
No, you use O because the number is just sort of like stuck in there. But you could say ハンバーガーをください, right? コーラをください.
Okay.
So, and if you were,
But can you have multiple O's like that? Like, is it not
ハンバーガーを
I don't think there's another O. I think it's just the first O.
Maybe it's only the first one.
O tatsu
コーラいたつください。
to.
コーラを一つ
Actually,
You show it
if-
twice in the book.
Yeah.
If you're
I think
2 different
it's-
things, then yeah, you use it twice.
Yeah,
Because
Hamburger
he uses like a
just
soda
kudasai.
kara, it says soda kara,
yeah.
and then where's the drinks? Kohi.
Yeah, so ハンバーガーを1つとコーラを1つ、
Yeah.
それからラーメンを2つください。You know, whatever. Yeah, so you do use the O for each noun, I think.
And then hitotsu or shitotsu.
Okay,
Futatsu, futatsu,
2つ、2つ。
futatsu.
That's it.
Okay, it's supposed to be 1つ、1つ、1つ. It's not she, it's he.
Right, but when I say it fast, it sounds like shitotsu.
Yeah, because that's the
Shitotsu.
mouth shape that happens sometimes naturally. and it's also Tokyo dialect.
Okay,
So it's like, it's a,
Hitotsu.
It's like they kind of hiss when they say heat.
Totsu. Yeah, they get kind of hissy sometimes on the heat sounds in hito and hitotsu and hitori. Something about the hito combination,
Hito.
the
Hito.
hito,
Hito.
because it's almost like you're saying hito, right? Because the H is strong, but the E is very soft, it's elated.
The H
So-
is strong with this one.
Yeah, so it just doesn't, it doesn't always come out as a clear H, it sometimes comes out more sounding like an SH.
It kind of lit
And that is,
together.
yeah, it's kind of a Tokyo lisp, it's a Tokyo accent thing. They don't say it that way in other parts of Japan, but in Tokyo they do. Yeah, so hitotsu. Yeah, am I saying it with the she sound?
I think we all do sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, so either way, but I don't want you to overdo it and like
Right.
purposely try to pronounce it like a she, 'cause it's not supposed to.
It's Stotsu, Tatatsu,
Mitsu,
Mitsu,
Yotsu,
Yotsu,
Itsutsu,
Jutsu,
Mutsu,
Nanatsu,
Yatsu, oh, Nanatsu,
Nanatsu,
Yatsu,
Kokonotsu, To.
To.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say like a katakana version of coconuts. Like,
Coconut, Kokonotsu,
saying
Kokonotsu, yeah.
kokonatsu every single
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, well, and that's the mnemonic that some people use, they remember it as like 9 coconuts, Kokonotsu. Yeah. What?
Standing in a row.
Yeah.
Do you mind if me and Dreamer go study?
Oh, okay,
Can we get started?
okay, oh, are you guys first tonight?
No?
No.
No?
Just wanna.
Do you guys, would you guys all rather just have the last little bit of time to go study on your own instead of class discussion, or? Yeah, go ahead if that's what you
When
want.
we voted outside, everybody said yes, but we're in here, everybody says good.
Yeah, well, go ahead, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I got a text from my husband that he's okay picking up the kids,
He's
so.
picking up the kids, but
Yeah.
he's bringing them here.
No,